Hello, welcome back. Okay. So for this episode, I'm gonna be talking about Attack on Titan. Specifically just focusing in on Eren Yeager, who's the main character. But before we get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about Batman. I watched it over the weekend. Honestly, A tier. Literally was so good. I was kind of worried about Robert Pattinson being Batman, mainly because I don't know, I only know him as Edward Cullen from Twilight, which is kind of really funny, but it was different seeing him take on a role such as like Batman. And I think like the movie, it was really long. It was like 3 hours. That's a long time to be sitting in a movie theater. But honestly, it didn't feel that long. I remember the first hour I looked at my phone, I was like, wow, an hour? It only felt like 15 minutes. Because they didn't do like a background on like Batman, like usually they do the whole story of, oh, well, he saw his parents die and this and that. They kind of like glossed over the little backstory, and they focused more on him creating, relationships with the people that he's meeting, or like the people that he had in his life, like Alfred. I also liked how like Catwoman and him had like a romance. That was kind of cute. But like, she ended up leaving anyways because she does her own thing. That's just her character. But I mean, it was really nice seeing a different take on Batman. It was more, I felt like there was more to him than just like he gets the criminals in Gotham and stuff like that. It felt more like I understood who Bruce Wayne was. So I really liked it. And honestly the fighting scenes were good too. Would I watch it again? Yeah. Would I watch it 3 times? No. Maybe because it gets old, but like, you have those movies that you'll watch like multiple times and you'll like get the feeling every time. But I don't know, maybe because it's such a long movie, I wouldn't do that. But honestly, I also liked how the what do you call it? The villain of it wasn't the Joker for once. I mean, how many Batmans did we have that were literally the Joker? I think probably like until like Bane. Bane was the last one I remember that wasn't the villain. Yeah, it was Bane. That was the last one that we saw. And this time we saw the Riddler, which I think the actor who played him did a phenomenal job. And it honestly created a sense of almost fear. Like, it was creepy. He was just really creepy. And the fact that, like, toward the end, spoilers ahead, if, like, Batman thought, like, everything was over when he was caught, but he wasn't, and he had, like, a whole following online, and all these people were, like, in on the plan of flooding Gotham. And then they knew that all the people would go to, the stadium, which is basically like Garden State, like the Garden Stadium. It's literally Gotham Garden, but Madison Square Garden is literally the same thing. But they knew all the people would be there because of the mayor like election speech thing, and all of them would like shoot all these people. It was just insane how like, and it kind of like brought to mind that like stuff like that could happen. I mean, not on the scale of like that, but like it's so easy to orchestrate things online, especially like if it's like if you have like a private profile and like you let all these people follow you, but like no one else can see it, only those who follow you. Like that's kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie, but I thought it was very, very well done, and it didn't. It felt like more of a criminal minds thing. It kind of felt like that. It was they were doing this whole like mystery case and all that stuff, and I honestly felt it was a good change of pace for like hero movies, because usually it's just like, oh, I'm gonna fight this villain and that's gonna be the end of it after they lose and that. But I don't know, it was different. And then especially in the end when they showed like the Joker for a little bit, that was nice too, because it gives like hope for another, like a sequel of like the same series, I guess you'd say, for Batman. And also the actor who was playing him. He's probably my I don't know his name. I'm really bad at names. But the actor who plays the Joker, who played the Joker there and probably will play the Joker when they do like another movie, is the same actor from, I don't know if you guys watched the Eternals movie from Marvel. He was the guy, one of the Eternals who could control people's minds, and he's a really good actor. And so I'm just really curious on his rendition of the Joker, especially since like usually the Jokers are, especially the recent ones, they haven't been very gory. They're kind of just, makeup, or like they did the gangster one for Suicide Squad. Jared, he did a good job with that one though. But this one, he's like deformed and scary looking. I don't know, I'm really interested in what that series has to offer, especially with the Joker being a little bit more than just like a guy who wears makeup or a guy who started a revolt and something like that. It's like actually someone who has actual face deformities, especially because it gives a different sense to the audience watching. Like that one little scene of them in the cell literally like got me pumped for the next, if they're gonna do a next one with the Joker, because it was just creepy, and I don't know, it's this sense of like uncomfiness. That's why I kind of like the little bit of like deformity of the Joker that they had there. Kind of gave an eerie sense, creepy. Anyways, so to get into the actual main topic, what is Eren Yeager? Who is Eren Yeager? Why is Eren Yeager? Where is he? Wait, who, what, when, where, why, how? How is Eren Yeager? I don't know. Is that even a question? So, just to give a little bit of background on this character, also warning, I probably wouldn't listen to this episode if you have not watched Attack on Titan and you are planning to, or you have not read it. I'm also going to give another warning for those who are up to date on the anime and they don't want spoilers for the end. Anyways, so Eren Yeager, we see him. He is young with his friend Armin and Mikasa. They do a little background. Eren, his dad is Grisha. His name's Grisha. He died, and his mom is Carla. And his sister, Mikasa, not really a sister. He actually saved her from a kidnapping. Mikasa was kidnapped because she was like the only one of her blood on Paradise Island, and they kidnapped her for like ransom money and to get obviously to get something out of it. And Eren, got in the way of everything, and what we see is Mikasa wake up, right? And Eren is literally stabbing all of these grown men. And he's screaming, die, die, die. That's like the first scene that we see an unhinged form of Eren, which is very interesting because continuing, when we fast forward to the day the wall of Maria fell for the first time, Eren is young, Eren is scared, weak. We see him not able to do anything while his mom gets eaten by a Titan. Like, it's really sad. And like, I don't know, like we don't see that person that we saw him stabbing, him yelling, die, die. We don't see that for a while. So after, his mom being eaten, he decides with his two friends to join the Survey Corps, which is basically the army that they have to fight off the Titans. They don't have guns. They didn't have them. They didn't know what they were. They had ODM gear. That was like these gears that went around their sides, and they kind of like, I don't know what they're called, but they shot out little strings that they glide to side, kind of looking like Spider-Man, and they'd use knives to cut the nape of the Titan because that was the only way to kill him. So they all get into the Survey Corps and they start their training. Mikasa is crazy good. She's like the top of their class, and she knows how to do everything very well. She's very athletic, very capable of defending herself, very good in fighting already. And then Eren struggles. It took him forever to even be able to balance in the ODM gear, which is something that people usually got on the first day. Armin got on the first day, which was surprising because he's like the weakest one out of all of them. He's like the little fragile one. But yeah. But Mikasa being an Ackerman, that's what she was. They find out Ackermans are people who are of a certain bloodline and that they are capable of doing things that, basic regular human beings can't. They meet Levi Ackerman, another one, which is like Mikasa's like distant uncle, and he's the same. He had a tragic backstory, but that's for another time. So yeah, so the first mission that they go out on, Armin gets in a little bit of trouble, and we see Armin almost die, basically. Not Mikasa. Eren, steps in and moves Armin from getting eaten, and instead he is. Us as the reader and the watcher of the anime or the manga, we think, wow, what? The main character already dead? No. He transforms into a Titan himself. And he literally kills all the other Titans that are around. This is the second time. This is after the second time the wall of Maria broke, because an armored Titan broke it. And a colossal Titan appeared as well. Which they don't know much about Titans, Paradise Island. But yeah. So that happens. Everyone's stunned that Eren can turn into a Titan. He was stunned himself. He didn't even know what happened. It was the first time he was knocked unconscious after. And we see the other Survey Corps member trying to kill him because they don't know what this is. They don't know who this is, how that could happen. From the beginning, one of the questions that the Survey Corps commander asked Eren was, what is the enemy? It was just a weird question. Watching it in the moment, seeing that happen, doesn't really make much sense. But then seeing Eren turn into a Titan, it kind of does. Eren wanted to join the Survey Corps to kill them all, but who's the all? Right now, we think it's the Titans, because they're the ones who A, ate his mother, B, they stopped them from exploring what's out there. Freedom. That's another underlying thing that we see that Eren likes to chase. Eren likes the thought of it. But we see little things that get in the way of it and how he reacts to it. Later does he find out that other members of the Survey Corps can turn into Titans. But they're not from there. They're actually from somewhere else. Reiner, Annie, and Bert. I can't say his full name. I'm really bad at pronouncing his name. So I'm just going to say Bert. They can all turn into Titans. Fully. So can Ymir, but she's not. She's from Parody. And they were sent here to destroy the Island Devils, which were the people, the Eldians that lived on Paradise Island. And that's really that's really messed up, because we see Eren learn this from Reiner and Bert, and you see him fight with himself because he doesn't know if he's A, part of the mission, or B, he should just, fight them and then see whatever happens. Annie, though, she turns, she's the female Titan. I'll say that. Reiner is the armor Titan, and Bert is the colossal Titan. Eren also finds out that the day that while Maria went down, the day his mother died, was because of Reiner. Reiner was the one who actually broke the wall. So it was kind of a lot for Eren to figure out that these people who he trusted and these people who he fought with were the reason why his mom died, were the reason why the island was even threatened by Titans in the first place. Another thing that we see Eren uncover is his father's history. He goes from not knowing anything about his father to knowing that he had another life in another land. He meets his brother. His brother comes and attacks the island. He's a Titan. He's a beast Titan. That's another one. On a cart Titan, which is like this really ugly thing. But like the woman who is the cart Titan is literally beautiful, but I'm not gonna get into that. And we see him, he had a key around his neck, and he goes down to the basement that his father said that he remembers to go down to, and he uncovers all the secrets about Titans, how many Titans there are, and this and that, and how these Titans are passed down. It's a lot. He's like 15 when he's signing all this out. Like, what do you do? So he ends up being kidnapped by Reiner and Bert, and they tell him everything, what I just said before. And their goal is to get control of the attack Titan because their homeland are the ones that, control the Titans for war purposes. Eren doesn't like that. He escapes. And then same thing with, we find out Ymir, which was another side character, almost. She exposes herself as the Jaw Titan. She ends up getting kidnapped by Reiner as well, but she ends up dying in the end. And they gain control of the Jaw Titan again back at their homeland. But Eren and the Survey Corps go to war against basically Reiner and Bert. In this whole big battle, which is honestly amazing. I love the battles that they have in Attack on Titan. They're always well made, especially in the manga reading it. It's like never, you're not lost reading it, which I think is amazing. So we see that happen. They go to war and everything like that. It's a really good battle between all the Titans. Basically, you have the Armor Titan, the Colossal Titan, the Cart Titan, and the Beast Titan go against Eren, his Attack Titan, and all the Survey Corps, which is very interesting to see because obviously they're Titans. They have the advantage anyways. But, Levi, Mikasa, they're like the weapons of the army because they're literally inhuman. Like, their movement is inhuman. And then Eren being a Titan also is like their backbone. But it ends up, they technically won because they ended up retreating, the Beast Titan and them. But Bert is the only one left. And that's because Armin sacrificed himself and, got Bert to be in the state he was. But Armin burnt to a crisp, and Bert was fine. He just didn't have any arms or legs, and as Titans, you're able to regenerate your body and limbs and all that jazz. And Eren comes up with the idea to feed Bert to Armin after making Armin a Titan. Now, the significance of that is, in order for you to inherit a Titan power, you need to eat someone of that. You have to eat the nape of someone who already has that. So that's how they pass Titans down, families or whatever. So that's what Eren wanted to do, but the commander, he was also injured and almost dying. Levi wanted to revive him. So we see Eren again turn into this violent individual who is angry if he doesn't get what he wants. He's distraught. He turns into someone who you don't think as the reader or the watcher he is. And we think, oh no, he's just, really trying to get his friend back. His friend just died. He just loses everyone and everything, and he just wants to stop losing everyone and everything. In the end, Eren gets his way. Armin comes back, eats Bert, and, inherits the Colossal Titan. Which also shortened lifespans, but he said any life is better than him being dead. So we see that happen. And then after that big little battle that they had, Eren and Armin, they want to explore what's beyond the walls. And since all the Titans are dead, that's what was accomplished during that battle. They're free to go do what as they please. So after that, one of the major scenes that we see we see something, I don't know, weird. As Eren's looking at the water and he's like, "Will we be free? Is that freedom? Is beyond freedom? No, it's more enemies." And Eren understands that. So after that closes, it's a time skip, and we see it really focuses in on a group of kids, like Armin, like Mikasa, like when they were younger, going to the Survey Corps. These people are training to be warriors, training to inherit the Titans that their country, Marley, controls, which is the place that Reiner came from, Annie came from, and Bert came from. So, and the Beast Titan, along with the Car Titan, they're all there. And these people want to be candidates and try to get the Titan so that they can be accepted. In Marley, Eldians are looked down on. They're treated as lowly, and honestly are basically rejected unless they're proved useful, which is by inheriting a Titan and sacrificing basically their life for war, which is really messed up in my opinion. And we see one of the two characters. There's really two characters because the other ones they kind of die. But Gabby and Falco, right? Those are the two. So after we get to know them, we see someone who looks like Eren. Someone with long hair. Last time we saw Eren, he had short hair, long hair, same eye, because the other one's covered. He's missing leg, and that stuff. And he's acting as if he's an injured warrior, an injured soldier, basically. And Falco starts talking to him and, becoming friends, but Falco doesn't know who he is. Falco doesn't know who Eren is. And Falco just tells Eren about the, what they think and all the history and everything like that while they're talking. And it's very nice. It's very informative, as the audience to know what's happening. And they did that through that, which I think is amazing. But we see a different type of Eren, very reserved, very alone. Because he's alone. He's the only one there. But he gets Falco to send letters to his friends back home, back at Parody. Which is where literally their mission is to kill them, and Falco does as he pleases because he doesn't know where it's going, he doesn't know who it is again. Until the day that Wilbur, basically the ruler of Marley, says a speech to declare war on Parody, to kill all the island devils. And other countries are there too. It's this big fiasco, this big, huge thing. That day, as he's saying his speech, Eren asks Falco to bring Reiner. Reiner doesn't know he's there. Reiner doesn't even know Eren knows what Marley is. So he goes down there and he automatically just starts freaking out, begging for forgiveness, asking what's wrong, freaking out, literally losing his mind. And we just see Eren there sitting, just watching it happen. Eren says something, "We are the same. I think I understand now, we're the same." And then, as Wilbur, the leader, right above them, literally, he's right below them, underground, declares war, Eren transforms into a Titan and starts going crazy, killing everyone. We went on a mass rampage, and then you see Armin turn into the Colossal Titan, blow up the canals and everything like that, and then you see the fleets of the Survey Corps on flying boats, that's what they call them, basically little air blimps, coming, and then it's just chaos. But we see Eren just kill everyone and anything and not care what he's doing, like how he was killing the people who took Mikasa. So when that happens, he gets into a battle with the Warhammer Titan, which was another Titan that they had, but she was from a different country. She was part of the family. Actually, no, she wasn't from a different country. She was part of like the royal family, I guess, officials. And she transforms, and she ends up losing to Eren, and Eren ends up inheriting basically the Warhammer Titan. During this time, we also figure out that Eren also has the Founding Titan, but can't access the powers to it. And he needs something else for it. As they're retreating back after they fought the Warhammer Titan and everything like that, they go back on their ships, their little flying boats, and try to escape. And little Falco and Gabby hop on and they kill Sasha, which was one of the Survey Corps member that became basically Eren's family. And he left. But it wasn't a laugh that was like, haha, that happened. Sucks to be you. No, it was almost like an insane laugh. It was like he knew it was going to happen. And he couldn't do anything for it. He couldn't do anything about it. It was very, very off-putting. Offsetting? Off-putting. And we also learned there on the ship that Zeke and Eren have a plan to change the fate of humanity. They have this euthanization plan that will basically have Eldians no longer be able to reproduce by using the Founding Titan. The reason why Zeke is there, his brother, first of all. His brother that Grisha had, which is Eren's father, when he lived in Marley. He also learned that as well, that his father first lived a life in Marley, had Zeke, tried to restore Eldia, got kicked out because Zeke tattletaled on them, and then started a new life in parody with Carlo, Eren's mother, and then had Eren. But he also learns that, in order to use the Founding Titan's power, he needs to have royal blood. And that's what Zeke is. Zeke has royal blood. Zeke is of Marley blood. Sorry, pure Eldian blood. Sorry. So that's why Zeke is important to this plan. And then Eren is also needed as well. Hearing this, Armin and Mikasa are like, what? You want to stop it so that literally the world can go on and we stop? Eldians can't reproduce. Eldians can't have a life anymore? And they were confused. And because of that statement, Eren was then arrested by Hanji, which was someone who we learn about who loves Titans and love lore, the lore and all lore, and not lore, but the reasons why they exist, how they, come about, and then all the history of it. She's just a scientist, basically. She knows how to, and she also creates gear and stuff like that. But she's the commander now. And she arrests Eren, who's now someone who isn't even recognizable to someone who first saw him in the first season. And the scene when he's in the jail cell, he's basically looking at himself in the mirror and saying, Tatakai, 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 Tatakai. It's basically just fight, fight. He's looking at himself and screaming fight to himself. Very odd thing to say in a mirror to yourself in a cell in the dark. It's just very weird. And then he also snaps on Hanji, which was someone who, he was close with. And it's just different. This sense of character who has no control and has nothing, and has this sense of freedom. His sense of freedom is at stake here, and he's flipping out, basically. It's very strange to see that as someone who used to be caring and want peace and kill all the Titans so that we can live in peace, is someone now who's backing a plan to end Eldia, basically, Eldians. I don't know, it just was weird. Eventually, though, he breaks out because Zeke, he orchestrates, a whole thing of Yeagerists. Zeke is Zeke Yeager, that's his name. Eren Yeager, they're both Yeagers. The Yeager brothers And these people believe that their plan is the way to go and this and that's the future. And they back the euthanization plan. And all these people are also in the Survey Corps so that they're able to, overthrow it. So that's what they do. They overthrow the people who are actually, leading the Survey Corps. And they arrest all of them, put them in cells and everything like that. And then we see almost Eren become a villain. He's the bad guy now. He put all the people that we love as characters away in jail cells just so that he can carry out his plan. It was very weird. And the scene, it's a table scene. Circle, round table scene. He basically has a conversation with Mikasa and Armin. And he tells Mikasa, which is, as someone who has read and someone who has watched, you clearly know that Eren loves Mikasa. Would do anything for her. He says to her face that I've always hated you. You're disgusting. Because of your Ackerman blood, you can't think for yourself and you have no sense of freedom, and that's the people I hate the most. He told that to her. She literally saved his life multiple times. And he said that to her, straight up. With no remorse, nothing. He just had this look of, resentment and almost broken, I feel. He didn't know, he knew what he was saying, but he had no feeling toward it. It's very strange, especially hearing it in the anime being said is just weird. Because you don't expect Eren to say anything like that toward her, especially. So then Armin stands up for Mikasa, and then he beats the heck out of Armin. Throws him across leaves him. Basically, black and blue all over. And he just walks out. Like nothing ever happened. And they go carry on their plan. Another part of the plan was that Zeke, another little fun fact about the Beast tie-in, he has the ability to turn people who have ingested his spinal fluid into tie-ins. Very weird. A little quirky. But yeah, so that's also part of the plan, and that's why most of the Survey Corps members were flipping out because they had the wine. And that was all the part of their plan. The wine that they brought from Marley actually had the spinal fluid of Zeke. So all these people would turn into Titans, and that would be their, thing of their backup plan if anything were to go wrong. So we see when that happens, he finds out that some people on Marley are at parity right now. The Cart Titan, Gabby, Falco, all of them. And he gets Peck, which is the Cart Titan, and Gabby in custody, basically. And then he asks them, hey, can you help us out? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Eldians, whatever, this is the way to go, and blah, blah, blah. And they agree. Allegedly, they agree. So they go up to the roof of the little castle or whatever, and he tells her to point out, where they're coming, because, there's an attack coming from Marley, and that they were going to out them, but instead she turns around and points at him. I feel like something like that, it's not just, part of a plan or to call out that Eren is there or whatever, but it's different because it's highlighting Eren as an enemy, as the villain, as the antagonist, instead of, someone who we rooted for. It changed his role. And when that happens, and this whole thing, the Jaw Titan comes out, and then everyone starts attacking, Marley comes in, blah, 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 big fight. Eren does not care, literally Black Air Force energy to the max, beats everyone up. And then he gets into a fight with the Armor Titan, literally beats him up too. And just when he was about to, I guess lose the fight, he hardened, and he kind of just, rolls out, dips from his Titan form, and tries to make contact with Zeke, who just literally got shot at by the Cart Titan, who has, they have this thing where the Cart Titan has a gun attached to the back, so someone can just operate it. It's really weird, like a tank. So Zeke got hit. He's on the floor. Everyone thinks he's dead because the Titan form is dispersing and they don't see him. But Eren knows he's there, so Eren makes a run for him. Then we see Gabby with a 50 cal. I don't know why. Like kind of like the timing of everything kind of doesn't really make sense, but that's not the point. Gabby, boom, shoots the 50 cal, and then Eren's head goes flying. So Eren's head goes flying, right? You see like the anime did some cool like shots, but like everything was paused and stuff like that just to like show the intensity of the moment. They're really cool. And Eren's head makes contact with Zeke's hand because Zeke was there. Actually, he was hiding in like the corpse of his Titan, and they're transported to a different place, a place that we saw before when Zeke almost died. It's called the Paths. And this place is where supposedly Ymir, the first Titan, is. Where she's located, where she stays for all eternity, building Titans from hand and living her lonely life that she's quote unquote okay with. Because that's her way. So we're transported there. We get a little bit of history of Ymir. Not Ymir like the Jaw Titan. She's a different Ymir. How she was a slave and she took the blame for letting a pig go loose, and King Fritz was mad. So he let her run, and they hunted her down. She was a little girl. They hunted her down in the woods. She ended up like falling in a tree, and then she fell in the water, and then like the little like really hard to explain, but I guess the first form of a Titan, or like the power of the founding Titan. It's like a little umbilical cord. Like it's very weird. It looks like a little worm, or like that like attaches to her spine, and then she becomes the founding Titan, the first Titan. And then Fritz ends up marrying her because she's able to do things that is godlike. She ends up having 3 kids and ends up dying because she jumped in front of her husband, King Fritz. Someone shot an arrow at him, and she jumped in front of it, and she died. Thinking that, like, he'd be sad because that's his wife. There's no feelings there. He had his children eat her, which is really messed up. Yeah, I'm just leave that there. They inherited the powers in that. And then that's how, like, the different Titans that they have now, how they formed. And she's in this place called the Paths by herself. And it's known that she only listens to those of royal blood. So Eren is there, Zeke is there, and they talk about how they have a talk. Basically, Eren says, "I'm not going with the euthanization plan. I'm gonna do the rumbling," which is basically him killing everyone outside the walls. Which is very extreme. It's mass genocide on a global scale. But Zeke is like, haha, no. You're not doing that. Actually, I have royal blood. I can tell her what to do. And she'll listen to me and me only. And so Zeke tries to persuade Eren into, like, understanding and trying to make him understand his point of view. So they go through memories. So we see Zeke's memories, and then we see Eren's memories of when he first killed those people that stole Mikasa. And then we go back even more to his father's memories. Specifically to the scene where he kills the Reese family, which is the ones that had the founding Titan. He kills them all, slaughters them. But before he does that, he has a moment where he breaks down and he says he can't do it. Zeke confuses, like, he's supposed to do this. He's watching and he's like, Grisha is supposed to kill them. That's how he gets the founding Titan. That's how this, story progresses. And we see Eren literally go down, kneel next to his father, and tell him to get up. And he listens. Everyone is like, what? jaw hitting like the floor. Like, what just happened? Did Eren just literally talk to his father in a memory that just happened? What? Then it comes to light that the true power of the Attack Titan was they're able to send memories back and forth on any user that was at any time period, any time, they're able to send memories. So we learned that Eren basically manipulated his own life, manipulated the way things happened so that he can get to the point he is now. He even went to the point that he went so oddly specific that the Titan that actually ate his mother was Zeke's mom that turned into a Titan. It was very groundbreaking, a plot twist that Eren became someone who created his own fate. He wasn't someone who was fighting. He was someone who was creating, planning. And then we see Zeke saying, starting freaking out, and he's like, this is, he starts losing his mind, basically, and they cut to another memory of after Grisha killed the family. Him screaming, "Are you happy now? I did as you asked," and this and that, and then Grisha turns around and he sees Zeke. Which is also weird. I don't understand how that happened, but he sees Zeke through, like, Eren's eyes, like, that memory. I'm thinking, it's very hard to keep track on how this was even possible, but he sees Zeke, and he's like, "I'm sorry that I, left you, I'm sorry this and that," and he's like, "Eren's gonna get his way." And Zeke's like, "What?" He's like, "At this point, Eren is going to get his way." So then we cut back to the paths. They're done looking through memories, and Zeke starts running to Ymir and saying, "I command you to go with the euthanization plan and this and that," and she starts walking as if she's going to do it and all that. And Eren's cuffed because they can create things there, I guess. And he's yelling and freaking out and trying to get Ymir to stop, and Zeke's like, "It's no use. She doesn't listen to you." He eventually gets out from the cuffs by, like, literally tearing his thumbs off to slide through the little cufflinks. And he runs up to Ymir and hugs her and grabs her, and he says some crazy stuff. He says, "I know you've been here by yourself. You're just waiting for someone. I can fight with you. Trust me," and this and that. And then it cuts to him gaining the power. She grants him the power to kill all of them. And who's them? Everyone outside the wall. He goes on and he does the rumbling. And all the walls fall. And there's titans there, wall titans. And they're huge. And they stomp everything in their path. And they will never stop until Eren commands them to. So Eren turns into this really weird, massive creature. It's like ribs and bones and stuff. And his form is very scary. But he sends out a message to all the Eldians through the paths. It's very weird, telling them of his plan of rumbling, of how he's going to kill everyone outside the wall, and how he's going to eliminate the problem that everyone wants them dead. But the whole thing is that there's Eldians outside of Parody. But he doesn't really care because his main priority is Parody. Mikasa and Armin, they notice us. Same with John. He's another friend, Connie. And they realize this, but something doesn't sit well with them, and they try to stop him. So they basically team up with the Cart Titan, and then Hanji and Levi and all of them. They go try to stop him. So if you haven't, if you're up to date on the anime but haven't read the manga, I'd advise you to stop listening from here on, because I'll be talking about purely manga stuff now because the anime isn't like up to date to the manga. It's still coming out on a weekly basis. So after that, they all got a plan of going to stop him. Because Eren at this point is unreachable. You can't tell him what to do. He won't listen. He won't stop until the threat is done. He won't stop until freedom is actually something that can be guaranteed. So what is he? A hero? Is he the antagonist? Is he the protagonist? Is he someone who's good? Was he fighting someone who's bad? Everyone thought that everyone who lived on the island were devils, and he's just proving them right doing this. And there's a lot of questions that come out when we see someone who we were rooting for in this make such a drastic decision to literally kill everyone. Like millions of people. And that's why they try to stop him. It ends up being a huge battle between like the Titans, and then one of the things that the founding Titan can do is like he can revive old past Titans and they fight for him. It's very weird. It's very like the idea of like power scaling. Once you're like hit the founding power, like the founding Titan, it's like GG's. It's over. And so they try to kill him, and he actually shows Armin the reason why he's doing this, the outcome, how it's gonna end, why it's like that. And then we see Armin agree to it and say, okay. Mikasa ends up killing Eren, and that scene is very sad. Like, she's just holding his head. It's very sad to think about. And he, everyone says that, Armin did it. He was the one who saved them. The rumbling stops. I mean, a lot of land was destroyed, so it's all rebuilding. And then we see, fast forward after Eren's dead, that Mikasa ended up moving on. She has a family of her own, and they're all living happily together. Literally everyone, except Eren. And we see at the end that everything was done for a reason. Everything he wanted to. It's very hard to say because he knew what was gonna happen. Why didn't he do it a different way? Why did he have to go do the rumbling to make someone stop him? It's like he knew he couldn't stop himself. He had to do it so that someone else can stop him, and that's kind of weird to think about because it shows the type of character he has. It shows that he has no self-control over the fact that he's just someone who can go and do crazy stuff like that. It's very scary. And I still am arguing with like the question and thinking about if Eren is the one. Is he an antagonist? Is he a protagonist? I'm not sure yet. Because in the sense of he wanted to protect those he loved, yeah, he's the hero. He's defeating all those who came to fight that, who came against them living free. But then we see the other side of it, that he's literally killing the whole world for their friend's freedom. That's much. That's a lot. There's other ways that it could have happened. Like, why did it have to be so extreme, such as genocide? It's on a global scale, like not even like a country or like a specific group of people. It was everyone that was not in the island. I don't understand why it happened that way or this and that, but I guess that's why it's just such a good anime. It's such a good manga. Isayama, he's the writer. It's just amazing because you grow attached to a character, and then plot twist, he's the evil one, but plot twist again, he actually, loved everyone, and he did it for a reason. But plot twist again, he's also a psychopath because he literally killed someone. He killed everyone. He couldn't stop himself. It's very weird to think about. And then now knowing what happened in the end, you go back and think about all the little things, all the little encounters that he had where he snapped. Like stabbing those, he snapped. Like, it kind of makes me think about, like, was Eren's character, did it change? Or was it constant? It's just that we didn't know. Because certain moments in his life are brought out the true him. Was the true him the one that killed everyone? Was the true him the one that just wanted to live a life together with Mikasa and Armin forever alone? Because that was another side story that they showed us. What did Eren truly want? Freedom? What is freedom at that point? What is this idea of being free? We also see that in the end, when they're doing a little like overview of how everyone's life turned out after that whole big thing, we see a bird that takes the scarf. I didn't mention before, but when he finished killing the people who took Mikasa, he gave her a scarf, and she was always attached to it till like the end. And she still had it on even after he was dead, and after she had a family with John and all that stuff. And we see a bird come and take the scarf and leave. So everyone's like, Eren's the bird, Eren's the bird. It became a meme. It was really funny. But like, if you think about what's the bird, they can fly. When you fly, you're free. So that's why this whole notion of freedom is with Eren, but it shows how freedom can cause bad things and good things. Again, with the genocide and then with that. But yeah, I mean, hey, Eren is someone cool. Eren is like really cool from like a character point of view. I mean, if someone like Eren actually existed in real life, that'd be really scary. But again, it's a manga and an anime, so something like Titans don't exist and all that. But he's a very like detailed character who we see grow, and we see become the person he became, basically. And I just think it's like a work of art, and Eren is just such a well balanced and made character. And I still think the question, and especially since in the anime awards, he was either nominated to be he's best antagonist and best protagonist. So that's also a thing that even the anime community sees, and it's not just me. I'm not just special. But yeah, thank you for listening. I'm gonna wrap it up here, and think about it yourself. Is Eren? Would you think he's a protagonist, or do you think he's an antagonist? Oh, I'd like to know. Peace out.